What's up, everyone? E3 is just around the corner, and, well, we did our podcast recently, but there's been some news that has come up lately that we didn't really get to touch on, and so I figured we'd make this video telling you a little bit about it, and our opinions on it, right? So first off, let's get right into it. Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy, they were not listed on Square Enix schedule for E3. I mean, that's not entirely surprising, right? I've been reading around a few places that people are a bit taken aback by that. That doesn't mean it won't be at E3. That likely means that it just it won't be playable at E3, right? They're not gonna dedicate like a half-hour segment of, you know, some of their employees kind of showing off the game the way that they will with certain other games. And I don't know what people are expecting here. A trailer could still be shown at their press event. That there's still room for that, even though it's not in their schedule. So, I mean, don't get too upset. If you were really still expecting the game to come out this year and for a playable, you know, to see some real gameplay more than just like a little gameplay trailer, that's not looking very likely. I don't know what to tell you. That's not in their schedule, right? But if you were just hoping to maybe see another trailer, just a little bit more, maybe some screenshots, I know they like to do that. Anyways, you know, that's still possible. However, maybe not, right? It's entirely possible that Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake, I love that we just talk about them together now. And that's how Square Enix talks about it too. It's like, oh, in the next 3 years, these two games, it's like they're tied together, which is so weird because Nomura could be focusing on one and finishing that one, and then I'm sure they're two separate teams working on it, but you know, given the fact that he's the director and the mental and even physical energy that takes in order to really just like preside over these massive projects, I mean, you'd think that they don't need to be listed together. It honestly, the way Square Enix talks about it, it sounds like these two games are literally going to come out like at the same time. I mean, they're listed together like all the time, and it's ridiculous. It's probably not going to happen. They might come out in the same year. I think that's entirely possible. Probably 6 months apart, maybe a summer and a winter release. But you know, the fact that they're always talked about together is so weird. So next time we see a Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, we're probably also going to see a Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer. And I don't know exactly why that is, other than the obvious connection of Tetsuya Nomura and Kazushige Nojima and people like that. Anyways, let's just kind of go through a little bit of what this blog here is talking about. They're saying it's skipping E3, like for sure. I don't think that it's for sure. Just because it's not listed on the schedule, and you can see the schedule right here, does not mean that it is for sure, you know, not going to show up. But let's look at the schedule real quick, because I think this is very interesting. So day one, they have time set apart for, you know, the opening. Anyway, so we've got, you know, their typical presentation, 30 years of Final Fantasy. Now, this is a 4-hour event, and I know they have other things planned for this, but it's entirely possible that you see a 2-minute Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer there. I mean, that is a possibility. Although they are going to go into their mobile games and all this stuff. I mean, they're going to be talking about this Dissidia NT, which is super cool. Something that we're going to be talking about a little bit later. You know, they've got their opening trailer lineup. This will be for the games specifically. You know, and then they've got all of these other games that we don't care about as much. Final Fantasy 14, of course. And then they're done for that day. So then the next day, they've got some Lost Sphere, which will be awesome. We were hoping to see a little bit of that, and it looks like we're going to. It seems to be about like, whoa. Oh, BS. I thought it was from 6 p.m. to 10 a.m. I was like, whoa, 4 hours? Okay, but this is the different time zones here. So we are going to be seeing Lost Sphere, which is super awesome, and I really look forward to seeing what that world has to offer. Other than like a moon thing. Makes things appear or disappear or whatever it may be. Got some Brave Exvius, some Mobius, of course. Then their next trailer lineup. And it looks like Final Fantasy 15 Universe. Well, that's interesting. Don't really know what that's going to hold, but maybe some other people have some speculation on that end. Of course, some more Final Fantasy 14 stuff. And then here on day 3, they've got some more Dissidia with some FAQs with the producer and director. That's going to be really cool. More mobile stuff. Zodiac Age finally being shown. They've got an unboxing and all that. That's going to be great. They've got some milestones. A Square Enix Presents E3 2017 trailer lineup. I mean, there's room to fit in between here, you know, a Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer or a Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. But when you look at this whole thing, you've got some more Nier. I know that they've got some more like DLC stuff coming out for that. And then they're ending it, of course, with Brave Exvius. I really wonder how much that game has made for Square Enix. I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot of money. Which is, if you're into mobile games, awesome. If you're not, maybe less awesome, because clearly here at E3 every day there is a significant chunk of time being devoted specifically to mobile games, and you know, that makes the investors happy, and if the investors are happy, the company makes more money, gets more investors. I mean, there's a plus and minus either way you look at it. So anyways, this article here is from the Bitbag, and they're just kind of talking about the stuff that we just went over. They seem to be sold that it's not showing up. I'm not as sold. I think that there is plenty of room for them to put something in, especially in their opening press conference. Kind of, what would it be? A day or two before E3. I still think we're going to see something, because it's been several years, and there's just time, there's space for them to do this. There's no reason not to. So that's that right there. Now we're going to talk about, actually, before we get into this one, because this is bullcrap. Okay, we're going to go over that in a minute. But I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. Now, Mike really likes these games, which is awesome. This one, I don't know if they all were, but this specific one at least was developed by Team Ninja. And they do, you know, they make really good fighting games, really good action games. Square Enix is getting pretty good at that too, even though it's not typically what they do. So here's kind of the forward from Square Enix, talking about Dissidia Final Fantasy NT introduces us to the squad-based battle gameplay by allowing us to wage war with over 20 of our favorite Final Fantasy characters, combining unparalleled visuals, seamless gameplay, and your favorite characters from the past 30 years of the franchise. Dissidia Final Fantasy NT welcomes all gamers with 3 versus 3 battles and all this stuff. So I don't have to read the whole thing. You guys can read it. The thing I'm linking to right here is on Gameotsu. But I wanted to look at their features, because this is kind of funny, actually. Everything you could ever want is a feature of... Sorry. is a feature of Dissidia Final Fantasy. Okay, great. That's so exciting. The return from Eos, of course, Noctis, coming out to save the world again. Legendary narrative, written by Kazushige Nojima, which is actually, okay, right, that guy's very talented, I believe. Your Fantasy, Your Fight, and Only the Brave Survive, which is a feature of Dissidia, is that only the brave survive. Which means that if you're, you know, if you're still playing the game in the future, you're one of the few, you're one of the brave. And then they kind of talk a little bit about more of it. A lot of people had questions about the arcade version versus the PS4 version. But fact is, this game's coming to North America. It's going to be fun. It's going to be on the PS4. And we're going to get to play it. In fact, Mike will be at E3, and it appears as though this game is going to be playable at E3. So Mike's going to be able to do that. Now, I am not going to E3. And there's a very specific reason for that. My wife is pregnant, and I'm about to become a dad. So, I don't know how many of you guys knew about that. I don't think very many. But in the coming weeks, it is entirely possible that I am Father Sperry, and I'm going to have a daughter. She's a girl. And the due date is June 26th. And E3, just a little too close to that. I mean, sometimes the kids come early, sometimes they come late, you never know. But I was not able to make it this year, and it's unfortunate, but in all honesty, I'm alright with it, because, you know, it's pretty crazy stuff's happening now. Anyways, back to the news. So let's check some more of this out. Dissidia, gonna be fun. I'm gonna play it. The PSP version, I played that for a while, and that was really cool. A highlight, I think, of this new Dissidia game is gonna be, well, Cloud was in the other ones, right? But this specific version of Cloud, it's gonna be the they call him like the Unknown Soldier Cloud. Take that to mean what you will. So here we come now to Kotaku, the greatest. No, I'm just kidding. All right, CD Projekt Red. Some people hacked their system and stole their game and are threatening to release it. Maybe not the playable game, but at least everything about it. You know, screenshots, character models, you know, battle system, all that stuff would be involved in what they took, even if, you know, it's not finished. It's bullcrap, man. It's absolute bullcrap. This is a company... Oh, unless... By the way, I forgot to mention this. Unless they pay a ransom, right? CD Projekt Red, if they pay millions of dollars, I don't know, a lot of money, you know, this stuff's going to be leaked. And there's nothing they can do about it other than giving these people tons of money. And CD Projekt Red, I mean, you guys have watched our stuff, and you've watched specifically our podcasts and our live streams, and you've heard, you know, the way that Mike talks about this company. This is a good company, right? These guys do phenomenal work. They, for something like this to happen to them, I mean, it's a small team, right? They may not have had the, the internet security that Nintendo has, right? They may not be able to prevent, well, Sony can't prevent this stuff either, apparently. Microsoft, there's an example. They may not have what Microsoft has in order to keep people from hacking them, right? But it's part of the fact that they're a small team that makes what they do so appealing, that I feel helps make their games seem more personal and really good. But it appears as though there's some downsides to that, and I mean, if you're a small team making small budget games, you're susceptible to somebody coming in and just stealing it because you don't, you know, have the resources other people do. So they want a ransom, and golly, man, this is just... So, they put a thing out on Twitter saying, hey, we've been hacked. They are going to refuse to pay it, right? So, here, let's just read their Dear Gamers right here. An unidentified individual or individuals have informed us they are in possession of a few internal files belonging to our company. Among them are documents connected to early designs for the upcoming game Cyberpunk 2077. A demand for ransom has been made, saying that should we not comply, the files will be released to the general public. We will not give in to the demands of the individual or individuals who've contacted us, which might eventually lead to the files being published online. The appropriate legal authorities will be informed about the situation. The documents are old and largely unrepresentative, okay, so this is good on their part, unrepresentative of the current vision of the game. Now, obviously this is a bit of a PR response, right? So we don't know how close this will be to what they'll eventually release, but it is worth noting that they are old. Still, if you look forward to playing Cyberpunk 2077, it would be best for you to avoid any information not coming directly from CD Projekt Red. When the time's right, you'll hear about Cyberpunk 2077 from us officially. So, I mean, I just want to say that that's bullcrap. And whoever did this, I mean, this happens all the time. Often it's like a young person, teenager maybe, who is really good with internet things and can kind of just take this and I don't know, but it's just unfortunate that this kind of stuff is what companies, even Sony isn't like immune to this, you know, they have to deal with this crap too. That's what's going on in the news today. That's kind of our opinion on it as well. E3's coming up, so stay tuned and stay cool. Do what you do. Be a gamer. Don't stop. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.